भारत के सम्मानीय मुख्य न्यायाधीश श्री शरद अरविंद बोबडे, आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री नीतीश कुमार जी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सम्मानीय न्यायमूर्ति श्री नवीन सिन्हा, इंदिरा बनर्जी, श्री हेमंत गुप्ता, पटना हाई कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस श्री संजय करोल, सीनियर जज श्री शिवाजी पांडे, all retired Supreme Court judges, sitting and retired Chief Justices, judges of the Honorable Patna High Court, Bar Council Chairman Mr. Madan Mishra, Advocate General Mr. Lalit Kishore, Additional Solicitor General, Chairman of all the three associations, ladies and gentlemen, जब भी मैं पटना हाई कोर्ट परिसर में आता हूं तो मेरी पुरानी भावनाएं बहुत तेजी से मुझे उन स्मृतियों को झकझोरती हैं। और आज जब इस नई बिल्डिंग का लोकार्पण हो रहा है, जिसके लिए नीतीश जी आपकी सरकार के सहयोग और संजय करोल आपके मार्गदर्शन में जो बना है, इसके लिए अभिनंदन। ये बिल्कुल पुरानी बिल्डिंग के साथ है, तो आप सबों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। लेकिन आज जब मैं चीफ जस्टिस के साथ घूम रहा था तो मेरी पुरानी स्मृतियां बहुत सामने आ गई और मुझे आज के इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर यह स्वीकारने में जरा भी संकोच नहीं है कि मैं जीवन में जो कुछ भी बन पाया हूं और कर पाया हूं, उसमें पटना हाई कोर्ट की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। वर्षों यहां गुजारे हैं। सामने बीएन अग्रवाल साहब बैठे हुए हैं, बहुत योग्य जज, चीफ जस्टिस हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 9 वर्ष रहे। मैंने वकालत शुरू की थी और वो जल्दी जज बन गए थे। उनके सामने पता नहीं कितनी बार अपीयर करने का मौका मिला और कोर्ट की तहजीब सीखने का मौका मिला। यहाँ जस्टिस एस.एन. झा और एस.जे. मुखोपाध्याय बैठे हुए हैं। इनके सामने कुछ ऐसे ऐतिहासिक केसेस बहस करने का अवसर मिला जिसकी चर्चा आज पूरे देश में होती है। ये सारे अनुभव हैं और चूँकि मैं पटना से हूँ, यहीं पैदा हुआ, पढ़ा लिखा, बड़ा हुआ और अब मैं सिटिंग लोकसभा एमपी हूँ, तो चीफ जस्टिस, आई नीड योर इंडल्जेंस टू वेलकम यू ऑल्सो एज अ लोकल मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बिकॉज यू हैव कम टू माई कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी। हाउ आई सी द evolution of Patna High Court. You know, it was established in 1916. But remember one thing very important. Patna High Court in many ways became the identity of new state of Bihar. Because after a long drawn struggle when Bihar was created a state, as Justice Banerjee pointed out, this new state needed identity. And Patna High Court very soon became a proud symbol of Bihar's identity. And I remember Honorable Chief Justice of India, Rajendra Prasad, shifting his practice from Calcutta High Court to Patna High Court. And very soon he excelled exceedingly well till after a few years left practice at the bidding of Mahatma Gandhi. And I remember as a young lawyer here, the old records were on display. And there was a first appeal of Rajendra Prasad drafted by him. And the stamp reporter has pointed out that why the lawyer has taken only one ground. The suit was barred by limitation. And I saw the noting of Rajendra Prasad, if the lawyer is sure of success on one ground, what is the need to take more than one ground? You know, these have been the tradition. Very good judges, Attorney General of India, Chief Justice of India, all came from this High Court. And I seek your kind indulgence to recall today that I am the first Law Minister of Bihar of my High Court, who is today the Law Minister of India. Therefore, there have been great traditions of this court. But ladies and gentlemen, all of you know about this court, the great tradition of judgeship, of a scholarship in law continues unabated. Today I would like to tell you certain facts as to how during these challenging times the judiciary of India functioned. And this commends me to share with you a word of great praise for the present Chief Justice of India. He became the Chief Justice of India and the great pandemic struck. I say in lighter vein, no train, no rail, no plane, no highway movement. But it fell upon all my three departments, the communication, the IT, the mobile, internet, to help the country keep on going. And the way the judiciary of India rose to the occasion, I want to give you certain numbers, which is very important for you to know. The total number of cases digitally heard in India this pandemic, and I'm giving you the number of 31st of January 21, very latest. 76.38 lakh cases were heard in the entire country through video conferencing and digitally speaking. The number of High Court is 24.55 lakhs. The District Court is 51.83 lakhs. And the Supreme Court, 52,353. Therefore, if close to 76.38 lakh cases could be heard digitally during these challenging times, it is a matter of some assurance and appreciation. Justice Sanjay Karol, your High Court too fared quite well. Patna High Court heard 6,460 cases, digitally speaking. And district courts of Bihar heard 6,42,514 cases. I can say there is always a scope for improvement. But the most trying, challenging times which the humanity has faced in the last so many centuries, judiciary of India could function is a matter of some assurance. As an IT minister, we have worked very, very significantly with the judiciary to strengthen the digital IT ecosystem of the judiciary. I'm not going to go how many courts have been digitized, but today we have created a national judicial data grid in cooperation with the Supreme Court, where 18.09 crore cases and case status, you can, at a click of a button, know all over the country, and 13.59 crores order and judgments of all the courts of India are available. This is Sanjay Karol in Bihar, 56.18 lakh cases and 8.3 lakhs judgments and orders are available. What I do as the Justice Minister of India to ensure that at least cases more than 10 years old are fast-tracked, both on the civil side and the criminal side. That's a work which all need to do. Another application of technology is the concept of tele-law, which we all initiated in 2017. What is tele-law? We have got nearly 4 lakh kiosks in the country, common service center. You go there, log yourself, and we have a panel of lawyers who will give you pre-litigation advice. A daughter-in-law suffering, or a laborer is not getting his due. I'm very assured to tell you that since 2017, 6.35 lakh advices have been given by lawyers who are willing to give their services for a free when an opinion is sought. This includes large number of OBC, large number of SC, STs. And these are matters of great satisfaction for me personally as to how we can use digital technology for access to justice. I would never say the work is complete. There is a lot to be done. 2-3 quick points and then I will conclude. You may have seen, day before yesterday, I launched the National Social Media Guideline. It was long overdue. We are supportive of freedom. We are supportive of criticism. We are supportive of dissent too. But the issue is not of use of social media. The issue is of misuse and abuse of social media. And should the people of India, today nearly 135 crore people of India are using various forms of social media. Therefore, if someone is being abused, someone is being misused, should they have some grievance redressal mechanism or not? That's what we have provided. I'll not go into details of that, except to flag a matter of concern as the Law Minister of India. India is a free country. Anyone can speak anything. We can surely criticize the reasoning of the judgment. But I foresee a new disturbing trend which I need to flag today. Of late, some people have an opinion about something. They seek to file PIL, no problem, that's right. But then they start campaigning that we must have a judgment of this type only. And if the judgment is not in accord with what they perceive to be their view, then I see disturbing comments against judges as well on the social media, at times being trolled. This is grossly unfair. The judges of India, Supreme Court or High Court or District Court, must be given complete freedom to decide cases as per the knowledge of law and understanding. If you have any problem, offer your comment, analysis of the reasoning of the judgment, that's your right. But any kind of trolling, any kind of agenda setting, and if that is not in accord with that, then publicly criticizing sitting judges in the most virulent manner is not fair. For a long time, I was thinking to share this concern publicly, but I thought my own Patna High Court would be the best forum to articulate that. But this is not meant only for Bihar. This message is meant for the entire country, I would like to confirm. One last issue I have to flag, two particular. We need to have good intake in the judiciary. And very soon we are in consultation. We are going to establish All India Judicial Service or Indian Judicial Service. We have IAS, we have IPS, we have IFS. Why can't we have a true Indian Judicial Service having the best minds being selected by the Union Public Service Commission under the oversight mechanism of the Supreme Court, direction of the Chief Justice of India? And the idea which we are contemplating is picking a particular number of additional district judges, throwing it for open competition, fresh law graduates, 7-year practice, and also sitting subordinate judiciary. You also sit, write the examination, compete. And the idea is to have a cluster of groupings, Eastern India, Northeastern India, Northern India, Southern India, Western India. And let through that selection, with the biggest stress of scrutiny of merit, best minds become additional district judges, then district judges, then come to also to the High Court in that very limited quota. The rest will be continued for the subordinate judiciary as the case may be. We also wish to give proper reservation to SC, ST, OBC so that the inclusive character of judiciary may also come about. I am very keenly pushing it, ladies and gentlemen, that we must, and All India Judicial Service is a part of perhaps Article 312 of the Constitution. That's a work in progress. We are in discussion with Honorable Chief Justice. He has been encouraging, but we'll work it together. What is my last submission to make? This is the centenary building of Patna High Court. Indian democracy post-independence is now more than 70 years old. The Constitution came into force in 1950. Freedom, independence of judiciary, the right to franchise of people are now ingrained in the constitutional polity of India. Mani Nitish ji is sitting here. My senior as a student, we were baptized in the JP movement of Bihar, fought against the emergency. Now those days are past. No political party can afford to compromise the basic tenets of the constitutional polity of India, namely freedom, namely democracy, namely independence of judiciary. If that is the real hallowed tradition of India's constitutional polity, it is time to look beyond in the coming 70, 80 years. And this will work only when there is a fine balance of independence of judiciary, separation of power, good governance, and overall commitment to the cause of the people of India. Because I take cue from what the Chief Justice of Patna High Court rightly stated, we all are a stakeholder. And this work as a stakeholder must ensure the pristine glory of judiciary, the shining characteristic of Indian democracy, and the overall quest for good governance must work together to ensure a truly developed India. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.